Okay, so we've now reversed roles. I'm the technician again. Luke is the homeowner. Okay, so Luke, down here, the first two things we check is our ORSAT, which is our exhaust. So that's the carbon in your home, making sure that exhausts properly and gets out, so it's not obviously staying in your home and poisoning your home. So when we have this in here,
Watch it start.
okay. So what we're doing is we're checking this parts per million, this right here. If it's under 100, we know that we're okay. If it's over 100, we could have some issues. So this is one of the first things we check. This is that safety part that we were talking about that you were a little concerned about.
Right.
And it's still climbing here, so we'll wait for it to keep going. We're at 43 right now, and it's still climbing. We'll give it a little minute. And then the next thing we check is our airflow. So we want to make sure enough air is coming down through this drop and through the boot, through your furnace and out your supplies. If not enough air is flowing through here, it has to work harder, which creates your energy bills, which makes your furnace not last as long, and which creates a lot more breakdowns, and it can also be a safety concern. So that's our second one we check.
Okay.
So it looks like we stopped here about 56
Okay.
parts
that's
per
under
million.
100
It's
there,
under
so
100, so we're good. So
Perfect.
we have no issues with your exhaust circuit. So that's taken care of.
Perfect.
All right, then if we can bring the camera over here as much as we can, then we have our airflow circuit. So this piece of equipment is rated at 0.5. That's the ultimate max it can run at, is 0.5.
Okay.
You're at 0.94. So you're running at, almost 80% more than it's supposed to. So what concerns me is if it's running 80% harder, that means your utility bills could be up to 80% more than they need to be to run this piece of equipment, not total.
Right.
You probably will get about 80% less life expectancy because your furnace has to run so much harder all the time to make your thermostat catch up there. And you're prone to more breakdowns. So I'm concerned about this. That's the first thing I wanted to show you. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to shut this thing down right now. I don't want it to break while I'm here because something's going on when I see the levels that high.
Right.
But during my tune-up, I'll see if there's something I can figure out,
Okay.
and I'll kind of just let you know what I find with that.
Okay.
But
So-
I wanted to let you know that before I started opening anything of
Right.
kind of where we're at with it, that I'm a little concerned.
So what would it look like to take care of that there?
I'm not quite sure yet. I got to kind of dive into it. So
Oh, okay.
once I do my tune-up, I'll know a lot more.
For sure.
And if for some reason I can't figure it out, we got people at the company I know who can. So
Absolutely. Well, I'll leave you at it
yeah,
then.
and I know you mentioned you were a little concerned about the install, and so I'm just showing you that now I am a little bit concerned. I can't say they install it wrong yet because I haven't delved into it enough.
Okay.
But once I do, I'll definitely come find you when I figure everything out.
All right, perfect. Well,
All
thank
right.
you very much for that.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I reiterated, notice I talked about the static pressure. I gave him some good news. The good news was the exhaust circuit was good. I brought up the static pressure. I touched on things I asked him earlier, which was the concern of the install, right? And I brought up things that he said. So I always try to tie back everything I possibly can. I try to tie back to his answers when I asked him the thermostat questions or when I built rapport at the door. Because when I tie them back, it clicks in his head of, oh yeah, I was concerned about that. Oh yeah, this makes sense. This is important to me, right? And so we do that. Okay, then now we're gonna start our tune-up. Now we're not gonna show you every part and piece and everything we do. This would take too long. You should be in training for that. But we're gonna fill out our checklist. So that would be what we would work on right now. But before we do our checklist, we need to call our coach with our vitals. So that'll be our next video. So you can stop this one.